involved in the event, and then we'll break off into one-on-ones for everybody, the fighters, their trainers who are here, and then we'll have some food afterwards. So sit tight and we'll get the program started here. So my name's Chris de Blasio. I'm VP of Communications for Showtime Sports, and we're here obviously to talk about an important WBA featherweight world title fight. Champion Jesus Cuellar is here. He is defending against the 3-division world champion in Abner. This is a terrific matchup of top-rated fighters in a deep division, a featherweight division, and it is a fight that must be labeled a main event. This bout is going to open a very important broadcast for us. It is a hybrid of sorts. I'm calling it Showtime Championship Boxing on CBS. It's presented by Premier Boxing Champions, and it's sponsored by Corona. This type of event is not without precedent. People in Los Angeles, and I guess fans across the country, should remember in 2012, Showtime presented a day and night doubleheader, which featured Leo Santa Cruz, another Southern California champion, headlining on CBS, followed by an evening presentation on Showtime with Amir Khan, all from the LA Sports Arena. But the event we're here to talk about today is on Saturday, June 25th. Again, Showtime Championship Boxing on CBS, presented by Premier Boxing Champions. It's going to be held at Brooklyn's Barclays Center, one of the premier boxing venues in the country, and a leading venue in the East, of course. The event is going to include a co-main event, another highly anticipated World Championship fight between welterweights Keith Thurman and Sean Porter. Saturday, June 25th. The event is promoted by DeBella Entertainment, and here today to represent is Director of Media Relations, Kevin Rooney. Kevin, come on.
Thank you, Chris. I just want to say on behalf of all of us at DeBella Entertainment how truly honored and excited we are to be promoting this fight and this event. You know, you said back in New York at the Thurman Porter presser that this is the best that our sport of boxing has to offer. You know, and this fight only adds to that notion. Both of these fights are not only tremendous world title matchups, but truly two of the biggest and most exciting fights to be made in their respective division. As Chris said, taking place at the Barclays Center, the premier sporting venue on the East Coast, and live and in prime time on CBS. A testament to how big this event is the way the tickets have been moving. We are hoping and anticipating some of you will be making the trip over from the West Coast. So with that being said, tickets are on sale. They start at $49 and can be purchased from Ticketmaster.com and BarclaysCenter.com. An interesting element to this fight that I don't think really has been discussed too much yet is the training aspect. Robert Garcia trained Jesus Cuellar for a good portion of his professional career. Robert Garcia and Jesus Cuellar won a world title together. Robert Garcia is here today, though, not for Jesus Cuellar. He is here with his new charge, Abner, and this is the first fight that he and Abner will be having together. And they, and as many of us believe, this is going to be the best Abner that we've ever seen. On the other side of the spectrum, while this is only the second fight with Jesus, having Juan Ledesma as his head trainer, the two have worked together since Jesus was a kid back in Argentina, and Juan is one of the highest regarded trainers throughout the entire country. On June 25th, he will be going up against someone who he once viewed as his mentor, and we'll be excited to see how that plays out come fight night. This is our first fight working with Abner, and we are honored to be involved with such a tremendous athlete and person. Regarding Jesus, anytime we have the chance to work with an Argentine fighter, given our past history at DeBella Entertainment with Sergio Martinez, it's a great prize for us. Sergio will be there on fight night, cheering and supporting his fellow countrymen on, and we are excited to be promoting your second consecutive world title defense. On behalf of all of us at DeBella Entertainment, I want to thank everyone for being here, and we hope to see some of you guys on June 25th. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. Next up, we're going to bring up our fearless leader at Showtime Sports, Steven Espinoza. Steven began with us in 2011, and he promised us unprecedented success. Either that or spectacular failure. Steven adopted a philosophy when he began with us of, if it's worth doing all the way. And that is why we're here today. We've been doing it all the way. We're in the midst right now of a 12-week run that features no less than 10 World Championship fights, all live on Showtime, and in this case, 2 World Championships on CBS, none on pay-per-view. So Stephen, come on up.
Thanks, Chris. As Chris mentioned, we're probably in the midst of the strongest run of boxing in the 30-year history of boxing on Showtime. Obviously, the strongest lineup of any network this year. Compelling, well-matched fights, the best fighting the best. And right now, when there is some criticism on boxing, or at least it seems to be fairly common, that the best are fighting the best, well, all you have to do is look at this card, and you'll get your response about whether they are. These are the right fights, at the right weight, at real weight classes, at the right time, all live to Showtime subscribers. Next week, we'll start with the super welterweight division. We've got 5 of the top 6 fighters in the division on the same card. That's the 2 Charlos going for title fights, and a rematch of Lara versus Matt Rosian. That's again 5 of the top 6 fighters in the division on the card fighting each other. The 6th will be fighting on June 11th, by the way, on the undercard there. That's Demetrius Andre. So while others are sort of wondering whether a big fight is going to happen or hoping a big fight has happened, we've been busy making the big fights. And so I get asked a lot, is Floyd gonna fight again, or will Canelo Golovkin happen? I don't spend a lot of time on those kinds of questions, because the reality is we've got some really good fights that are happening, and it would be a shame to not focus on those, focus on the ones, like we have 2 great champions here who are willing to fight each other in the primes of their careers, and worry about other fights that may or may not happen. On June 25th, we've got 2 marquee matchups. They're both top 6 in the division taking on each other. Thurman and Porter, we've spoken about that. I think it's probably the best matchup, and with this co-feature as well, this is really the best doubleheader of the entire year. I'll put these 2 fights against any doubleheader that airs on television this year. And that was our commitment when we went to CBS to do this fight. It's been almost 40 years since CBS did boxing in prime time. The last fight that CBS did in prime time was Ali Spinks won in 1978. So in order to go to CBS and say this was a card that merits them getting back into the boxing business, we had to put on a really, really strong card. And what we did is find the 2 best fights that we could find and put them on back-to-back on the same card. So both of these fights, Thurman Porter and Cuellar Mares, we've got fighters in the primes of their careers. We've got the best matchup possible in the welterweight division. There's no games regarding weight classes. There's no games about people, holding out for money. What we have here is just 4 fighters who are willing to take on the best fighters in their division, and they don't make a whole lot of spectacle about it. They just give them the fight. So with respect to this co-main event, Cuellar versus Mares, it's one of 5 featherweight world title fights that we have on Showtime this year. It's rapidly becoming one of my favorite divisions, and it's approaching the point back in really where the featherweight had maybe one of its golden ages with Barrera and Morales, and at that point. So I think now with the talent that we have in the division, and so far this year on Showtime, we've seen Lee Selby and Leo Santa Cruz and Gary Russell. We have Frampton moving up to the division as well. This is one of the most exciting, one of the hottest divisions in the sport. You guys all know Abner. You've been watching him here in Southern California for quite a while. One of the best resumes in boxing. There's not that many boxers who have accomplished what he has done. Obviously, he was a 2004 Mexican Olympian. He's a 3-time, 3-division world champion. And you go down the list of fights that he's had, from Yanni Perez to Vic Darchinyan to Joseph Agbeko to Anselmo Moreno to Ponce de Leon to Johnny Gonzalez to Leo Santa Cruz. There's not a lot of guys who have names like that on their resume. And now he's been entertaining us for quite some while, and I'm really happy that he's going to be making his New York City debut. In New York City, we'll get to see what what his fights are like. The champion, Jesus Cuellar, it's quietly put together a resume that's also very, very strong. You know, wins over Claudio Marrero, Rico Ramos, he knocked out Juan Lopez, he knocked out Vic Darcini. And what we have here is a fascinating style matchup. You know, Abner is your classic boxer puncher. You know, he can box, he can brawl. You get a little bit of everything. You know, the highest compliment I can pay to Jesus Cuellar is really to compare him to another recent fighter that we have featured on Showtime, and that's Marcos Maidana. This is a mini Marcos Maidana, and I'm not just saying that because he's Argentinian as well. Their styles are very similar. They've got the same level of aggressiveness. They've got the same entertainment value in the ring. So this is, you know, quite honestly, every bit as good a matchup as the main event is. The last question, and I've gotten it fairly frequently, is why put these two fights together? And again, once we made the main event Thurman Porter, which is again the best matchup in the welterweight division, we were looking for, you know, another matchup in another division that had the same level of quality. That's what we have here. We have a main event and a co-main event where it's all action, two aggressive fighters, you know, who will be coming at each other in the primes of their career. It's something that I know CBS is very proud of. It's something that Showtime is very proud of, and I can't wait until June 25th. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. As Kevin mentioned, Lou DiBella couldn't be here today, but I wish he was, because back in New York when Thurman and Porter got together, he mentioned, and he was referencing Abner and Cuellar in this important featherweight fight, that these two fights are the best that boxing has to offer. To echo what Stephen had said, all four of these fighters are consensus top 10 ranked in their divisions, and they don't back down from a challenge, and they do so with class and dignity, and truly represent our sport on a global stage in a way that makes me proud to be associated with boxing. So thank you guys. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up the fighters. Abner Mares, he is 29-2 with 1 draw. He has 15 knockouts. Abner's been fighting on Showtime for a long time. He's been winning on Showtime since 2010, including victory in the bantamweight tournament that we had in 2010, 2011. Stephen mentioned some of the names on his resume. Abner never fails to face the biggest challenges in his division. He had 3 different weight divisions as champion already, and as I said, he's always done so with class outside the ring and with a ferocity rarely seen inside the ring. So Abner, why don't you come up and say a few words, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. Really happy to be fighting, to be part of this co-main event against a tough fighter, as Jesus Cuellar. I know he's mentioned a few times that he's been wanting to fight me, and that I finally came out, and I'm not scared of fighting. You know, there's always time for everything, and back when he wanted to fight me, it wasn't his time. Now it's time for him to face me, and he's gonna know what it is to fight a top level fighter. As mentioned, you know, I've been in boxing for many years. I've been in 2004 Olympian. I fought many tough fights. I'm coming from one actually. I just fought Leo Santa Cruz, so a tough fight. Where definitely, I mean, the outcome wasn't the best one, the one we wanted, but it was a tough fight, and a fight where we showed that we have the heart, we have the intelligence, we have everything. You know, it was a tough fight against a level fighter. And now we have a Jesus Cuellar, who's a tough fighter, a guy who hits, a guy who I respect as a fighter, as a person. I have nothing bad to say about him. But other than that, I just have to tell him that, you know, to get ready. He could be in the highest mountain. I know he's training in Big Bear. He could train in the highest mountain, but you know, conditioning is not what's going to get him the victory. And you know, I'm a skill level fighter. I'm a level fighter, and I'm going to show him that there's a big difference. So, you know, thank you guys so much. I'm really excited to be fighting in Brooklyn, actually, in New York, for the very first time. I'm excited. We're taking this as a family trip. You know, we're fighting, become the world champion, and after that, we go sightseeing with the family. So I'm excited, really happy. Thank you for the family that is here, my friends, you know, press. You know, I'm happy to be working with Robert Garcia now. You know, we're taking this fight really serious. You know, it's a fight that I'm gonna gain so much, and Robert too. You know, as a team, as he wants to work with Jesus Cuellar, and I think he's gonna show him. With me, as an example, it was a big mistake leaving him. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
Okay, Abner, so some of the background noise you may have heard there was Sebastian Contorsi translating for Jesus to make sure he understood what was being said, so no disrespect there. Jesus Cuellar, as you know, out of Argentina, is training up in Big Bear. He has 28 wins and 1 loss. He has 21 big knockouts. Jesus is making this the second defense of a title that he won from Vic Darchinian by devastating knockout, and recently defended that title in December of 2015 on Showtime on the undercard of Danny Jacobs versus Peter Cuellar. And that was in a terrific fight, a unanimous decision win over Jonathan Oquendo. If you include the interim titles that Jesus has owned, he's been a champion since 2013. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up Sebastian to help translate, and Jesus Cuellar.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon to everyone.
Bueno, nada, se dio una gran pelea, la pelea que estaba buscando para crecer un poco más. Sé que estoy entrenando con mi equipo, uno de los mejores, y nada, creo que el 25 de junio se va a ver bien la calidad de boxeo que tengo.
I've been training hard for this fight. You will see in June the 25th that I have one of the best teams out there, and I'm glad that finally this fight came out.
Estoy muy contento con mi equipo, estamos trabajando muy duro, ya hace 2 meses y medio que estamos en Big Bear, y nada, gracias por todo, gracias a la cadena de Showtime, CBC, y a Algemo por todo lo que está haciendo conmigo.
We've been training out of Big Bear for a little more of 2 months now. So I'm glad and I'm training hard for this fight. I want to thank you all and thank CBS Showtime for this opportunity, and also to all him.
El 25 de junio voy a estar preparado para dejar todo en el ring. Una vez más voy a levantar mis brazos en alto y voy a demostrar quién es el campeón.
On June the 25th, once again, I will give it all, and we'll leave it all in the ring, and I will raise my hands once again, and I will prove who the champion is.
Muchísimas gracias a todos.
Thank you very much to everyone.
Like you said, no trash talk, no BS, all respect for these guys, and they just bring it when they get into the ring. So I think face-off between the gentlemen, and then break out into one-on-ones. Okay. And then we'll bring up Steve as well. Right.
Vamos, gallos, Timares. Come on, baby. Eso.
Look down at these guys first, right here. Right at the left.
Arriba. Big fish.
There.
Vamos, Muratero.
And
Eso.
then look up at the TV cameras. Hands up. Okay.
Una vez más. One more time.
Steven, come on up.
Kevin, ready?
Face to face.
Ready?
Eso. Timares.
Where's Kevin ready?
Yep.
Tell him to come up here. Where's Robert?
Kevin, come on up.
Thank you.
And Robert, yeah, and Sebastian. No, Sebastian, your trainer? I'm sorry. Pardon me. Sorry, pardon me. Yeah, this is Steven.
Acérquense, juntos. Timares. Amen.
There you go, that's a good one.
Enfrente.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you. And so what we're going to do is, Abner's going to be at this table.